Hey guys, it's Christy with Zen 10 Lotus Tarot, and I just wanted to come to you really quick with a short video. It's super late, and I need to go to bed, is what I need to do. I slept and napped and everything yesterday, so I think, I don't know, my schedule's all messed up. So I'm trying to get that back on track. Just wanted to come to you with this short little video. And talk, really talk, and go through the card that I chose for where we're at on a grieving process, right? Because again, once anything that changes in our lives, we grieve, and it doesn't matter what it is, how important, how significant or insignificant it may seem to anybody else ever. It's an internal process for people, and we don't always know exactly how that process is going to go for us, whether it's going to be a short process, a fast process, whether anybody around us would know or not know, or perceive it however they want to perceive it, or project it out onto anybody and everybody they know about what they feel it is. But the point is it's an internal issue going on in someone else's life that nobody can determine or decipher other than the person going through that grieving process. So I just want to point that out. A grieving process is one that is independently done. I mean, it doesn't have to be independently done. We can certainly drag other people into it if we have to, but most people don't do that. It's an internal thing. We can tend to drag other people into it when we're angry or when we're bargaining, in that stage of grief. A lot of times we will end up projecting that out onto others, but there's certain parts of that grieving process that we do completely and utterly alone. Thank you, Spirit, for the burp. I needed it anyways. Yeah, so this is a battle that's on our own. It's a you versus you conversation, and it's and if we're super healed or trying to be on that path, we do that completely isolated, and that's hard for a lot of people to understand that can't be isolated, right? And it's like, there's nothing wrong with that either, like if that's where you're at on your process. There's no rights or wrongs in grieving or changing or transformation, There's no right or wrong, There really is no right or wrong. And nobody can judge us for how we grieve certain things, right? It could be anything that we're grieving. And I talk about that all the time, that it can be anything. It could be simply that, we are parents and our children are getting older, and we're getting older, matter of fact. We ain't getting no younger. I mean, whatever. But so it's like we could be grieving a whole host of stuff that maybe you have no clue about when you look at someone else. You know what I mean? To know or understand what it is that they could be grieving in any given moment. I mean, you could walk by them, just on the street and see somebody and not really know what they're going through, And so try and keep that in mind, when you see a passerby. Don't give them a stink eye or look at them sideways because they're somebody who keeps to themselves. or there's somebody who is internalizing some things, or there's somebody who is letting go of some things, you know, maybe trying to work through some anger, maybe trying to work through some, you know, maybe they recognize, which is beautiful, because that's how you change, is if you can recognize it. Is that, you know, maybe somebody that you see recognizes that in situations where they're grieving something, if they're feeling in that frustration or anger stage, and they recognize that that's a problem for them, you know, that like, I can get super angry at times and say things because I'm a Scorpio, you know, and I have a smart ass mouth. I mean, if I'm being honest, but you know, I don't want to hurt anybody, you know. An unevolved Scorpio is somebody who is just, you know, just lashes out and doesn't have it together, you know. And so I know personally, I am always trying to fix that. I usually screw it up royally. So, but at least now that I recognize it, when I know that I'm feeling that way, I need to isolate myself. And so that might make people a little worried about me. I'm here to tell you, I'm super good. But yeah, you know, like if you see somebody who's isolating because of depression, I mean, that may be a whole different story, you know? And it's like, I don't want to tell you to not reach out to people. That's not what I'm saying either. It's just like, allow people to grieve as they grieve, you know? And don't judge them, because the only person that can judge us is God, you know, on that day. When we just, you know, when we get judged, that's it. And don't allow people to tell you what's right or wrong about grieving. You know, grieving may be a host of things that others may not have a clue about, you know? And you're like, okay, so, you know, this person seems like they have it all together or whatever. And it's like, sure, but you still don't know what someone's grieving deep down in their soul space, you know, in their heart space, in their mind space. You don't have a clue, you know, when we look at somebody every single day. And we just need to allow people to grieve how they grieve, you know, and pray for them. Pray for, you know, their healing. Pray for what it is that you're grieving, that you find acceptance somewhere in a loving heart space, and achieve that, you know, achieve that acceptance, that like feeling of happiness for another person, or the feeling of like being at a space where you're happy with yourself first, you know, like where you're happy with yourself first, and you accept that grieving process that you're going through. You've come to a level of acceptance about it. And the reason I say that acceptance is because the card that came out is and I think resonates best with the cards that have been coming out and some of the messages I've gotten today, is that the child I was meant to be. And what this card is, it's a card of acceptance. And so, again, the grieving process can be very fluid, you know, where we jump back and forth between stages of grief. And a lot of that can just deal with how we cope, you know, what we've learned about coping, what we learned about accepting, what we learned about depression, what we learned about anger, what we learned about denial, you know, and it's like, and maybe some of those things, we didn't have a great blueprint, because maybe we were the type of person that kept to ourselves because we just would rather not allow anyone else to feel anything we were ever grieving. You know, we tried our best to not show that grieving process, and we'd rather, you know, internalize it instead. And you know, that could be super toxic too. You know, whatever it is, there's a certain set of ways we've learned to grieve from our own experiences, our own traumas, our own past, our own suffering, our own self-defeating thoughts, our own whatever, you know, like whatever we've done in the past about coping is usually how we, you know, move through that grieving process. And that usually determines the time frame. And there is no time frame. There's no right or wrong answer, you know? There's no too slow, too fast, too whatever, you know? It's everybody is individualized in that journey, and it's a self journey. It's not one that can be predetermined, you know, as far as, you know, there could be setbacks, there could be blockages, there could be interference, there could be a whole lot of things that keep us either in that smooth pattern of the grieving process, which is never smooth. And I'm definitely not downplaying any grieving process of anything, you know, and I don't care what it is, you know, it is significant. But there's no time frame. We can't rush it. We can't, you know, it's just something we can't do. And so I feel like with the energy over the last probably, oh God, it's been about, I don't know, whenever my last video was, it was probably like, I don't know, about a week ago, 6 days ago. The energy has been so heavy that I can, like, I'm talking slow from it. That means there's a lot of people talking about change, about uncomfortability, about feelings of loss, feelings of anger, feelings of denial, you know, and when we're in that grieving process, the most important thing to remember is that we don't project that energy out onto others, you know, that don't, it's not your struggle, you know, so you can't judge people for how they're dealing with it in whatever the way they deal with it. You know, I tell anybody that I love, literally anybody, friends, family, whatever, hey, whatever you need during this time, that's all I can do. I'm going to pray for you. I'll always be here for you. I hope, you know, like I don't judge what decisions happen during that time. I don't judge, like, I don't know. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to judge someone for how they grieve something. And I don't know what they're grieving. You know, it doesn't matter if it's, you know, the loss of a pet or the loss of their children going to college. You know what I mean? It's the same. It's a grieving process. It's change. It's transformation. It's something that you're not used to. It's off the path of what's normal for you internally in that whatever it is that you're thinking about, you know, that you're grieving. And so we could be grieving, you know, anything at all, but the process is the same. But when we can reach that level of acceptance, it's like this card is so beautiful, to be honest, in the acceptance phase of that. And it's basically like, who did you want to be before you became who you are? You know, it's like accepting that you are not the same person yesterday that you are today. And that happens for all of us, you know? I mean, it's hard for me to look at my children and say, you know, I can't stop looking at them and thinking that they're like 2 years old, you know what I'm saying? Like, and maybe I need to hold their hand the whole time. And it's like, so even that is a grieving and getting used to process, you know, even day by day, you know, you notice they're a little taller and you notice that they're a little stronger and they can do a lot more. And, you know, there's things that you're still fearful of them, like they're 5, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's crazy how we can grieve things in our day-to-day life that we don't even realize we're grieving, you know, until we actually take a step back and say, you know what? That's what it is. That's where this anger is coming from. That's where this sadness is coming from. That's where this denial is coming from. It's because we don't, you know, it's hard to accept change, period, you know, and the letting go process in that, and getting to a space of comfortability in that, no matter what it is, no matter what that change is in your life, no matter what that transformation is. Sometimes it's an old version of ourself that maybe, that maybe everybody knew, you know, and felt good about and was excited about, you know, in your life. And maybe as you grew up, you thought to yourself, like, you know, there are so many things I had planned for myself, you know, and somewhere along the line, you know, things changed and shifted, and you know, God put me on a different path, and here I am, you know, living this life and how things are going and unfolding, and I'm allowing everything to happen as it should, or whatever, or how it's going to, you know. And it's like, but that entire time, subconsciously, we're grieving. Wrap your head around that, you know. Imagine that every person that you walk by every single day is grieving something. And sometimes they're grieving, like, I don't know, a good dozen things, you know, like a good dozen things that they're grieving in their life. And so maybe they're quiet, maybe they seem distracted, maybe they seem like they don't got it all together. Maybe people are questioning their sanity, you know, and think about how exciting that is to think that they are sane at this point if they're grieving 12 things at once. You know what I mean? Can we look at things in a different perspective is my question, you know? Can we maybe sit across from somebody at a table and look at them, and maybe they look a little different today because they look a little down, or maybe today they're not smiling as much as they usually do, or maybe today they're super talkative because maybe they woke up today and they feel pretty good, and so now they want to talk. And, you know, like, can we get to a space where we're comfortable with whatever anybody is going through without judging them? You know, it's like, because you know, when you're in that grieving process, as we all are, every single day probably, you know, grieving something, we can get a little chatty, you know, get a little gossipy, say some things that really are hurtful. And the thing is that I always like to think, in, like, honestly, throughout my entire life, I have always tried my best to notice when somebody is being singled out and bullied, or not treated fairly, or not I don't know. I always reached out to those people. I made them my new friend. If they were a new person at school, I was shaking their hand. You know what I mean? and, playing with them on the playground, because I thought to myself, what if I was new? I don't know what I would do, like, and like, I don't know. So the point of the story is, as I start to chatter on for 20 minutes about grieving, have some compassion for people, before you judge them, and people notice when you are, even if you don't do a thing, especially people who are super empathic, who feel that energy, when they walk into a room, or when, you suddenly got 15 people calling you, making small talk, who don't call you on a regular basis. You know what I mean? It's almost like there's so much being said about you that you have no clue about, that it makes you feel worse. So, I don't know. I don't even know. Try to be a friend, like a friend to people. Like, reach out and be like, I don't care how crazy it sounds, what's up? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes people just need a friend, like, to listen, to whatever it is that they're going through. And maybe people aren't super open, but like to speak all their truth, because maybe they're just not sure how to speak their truth. but like but yeah, so like, if you see somebody struggling, reach out to them, and instead of making them feel like they're weird, or that they have a problem, or that they're deteriorating mentally, just be like, hey, what's up? You don't look like you today. Is there anything I can do for you? Is there a coffee I can grab you? Is there a I don't know, anything. Just start a conversation with people. We're so busy these days with everything that we don't just reach out to people, and that sucks. I really actually hate that about like society today, the technology in it. But yeah, so anywho, that's my long ass winded spiel on the grieving process and acceptance. But who did you want to be before you became who you are? And that's what Spirit is saying. You have come to a place of acceptance that things are changing in your life, and that, you're not even comfortable with it, let alone the people around you, It's like, allow them to grieve as well, the fact that things are changing, the fact that it's a new day, the fact that you're trying to do things that you wanted to do, like, or that you dreamed of doing. I wrote down in a million notebooks, I write in notebooks, I journal, and it's from my dreams, that I have. I journal every dream I ever had, and you can't interpret somebody's mind from a dream journal that somebody reads. Do you know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. There are people that write down their dreams, and they come up fucked up because dreams are fragmentations of our subconscious mind, and the only people that can put those subconscious fragmentations together appropriately to give an actual message is somebody who's an intuitive, somebody who's an empath, somebody who is capable of giving the right message. So if you did come across a dream journal and you got super weirded out by it, because there's only about 4 people that have access to that dream journal on any given day in my life, for sure. Don't base your thoughts of my subconscious mind in a sleep state onto my actual mind frame. Sometimes we pull back our energy so that we can gain clarity around us, of what's really going on behind the scenes. And so the only way to do that is to shut up and listen. Just shut up and listen and see what happens. See what unfolds around you, and know that you didn't contribute to it. That's all we can do. So yeah, everybody's grieving, and it sucks. It does suck because people do it at different rates and paces and things like that. And people are on different stages of a healing process of their own, and it's only individualized that we can heal. I can't force anybody around me to heal, and nobody around me would be ever be able to force me to heal on things that they think I need to heal on. And we have to just allow each other to be who we are and love each other anyway. That's the biggest thing. That is the biggest thing. Not try our best to make somebody, especially that we love, to feel less than who they are. If you know that you're a person who needs space, say, I'm sorry, I just need space right now. I'm a little angry and I feel that. And so maybe I need to step back and say, before I hurt or say hurtful things that I know I don't mean deep down, I need to take a step back, And sometimes we do some things that seem a little weird in order to make sure that we're protected from being mean to someone or being angry at someone. We don't want to be that person to someone. You know what I mean? And so sometimes you have to protect others from you, protect others from you doing something hurtful to them. And literally keeping others protected from hurting you in that process. You got to be ready to have a conversation. If you know you're that person has a problem with lashing out or being angry, or if you're that person who's super prone to depression, a lot of times you don't have the energy to be around people, like you just don't. And if you're somebody who's in denial, maybe you're super pompous and boastful in that moment. Whatever it is, like, if you can recognize in yourself a you versus you question, and that's the only question there is, you versus you. What do I need right now to make sure about me is in order before I try and, interact with too many people so that I don't cause my own grieving process to be projected onto others. Like, everybody grieves differently is the bottom line. And we got to give them the space, the time, and the energy in order to do that. And we don't have to judge them for it in whatever way they choose to do that grieving process, however long it takes, however it unfolds, however many mistakes are made during that time, however many angry things are felt during that time, however many things are said that we didn't want to even say to begin with, and it's like, that's the biggest thing to get across. So, just give people like compassion. That's it. So I'm going to throw some cards and see what you're dealing with. I hope you're having a good weekend so far. think it's supposed to be pretty tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait. Ready for a nice day off tomorrow to enjoy. Ace of Wands in reverse. No healing. So it's like maybe something that you thought was going to get off the ground is not getting off the ground the way that you expected it or hoped it to be. And so so maybe you're grieving the idea that something's not working out in your favor. This is like an energy of wanting to come out of hibernation mode. So it goes perfectly in line with the child I was meant to be in that acceptance stage. So it's like you're still wounded, obviously, but you want to come out of like out of your head space, out of your thought space, out of your isolation. You want to start to come out of your shell a little bit more, you know, start doing those things that have been stuck in your mind, that you've been working through, that you've been planning, that you've been thinking about, that you've been strategizing, you know what I mean? And it's like some people that are super analytical can be in their mind like like big time. And so and especially when you're intuitive and empathic, meaning you're dealing with your own thoughts plus the thoughts of everybody around you or anybody who's close to you energetically, meaning like somebody that's connected to you in some way. And so you feel emotions, you feel when things are off, you feel when there's gossip and conflict and chaos and crisis and confusion and smoke and mirrors, you know, and so you're ready to come out of your headspace, you know, doing whatever you can to keep busy with all those things that you're trying to work through in your brain while you're obviously probably grieving about a dozen things in your life as well. So so yeah, but you're ready. Like it's been long enough, you know, you took a little hiatus to try and just keep your energy grounded. You know, grounded is the best way to put that. So came back out. You're ready to come out of your shell. I love that. Great energy. You're ready to take a leap of faith, you know? And it's like, clarify the Fool. Let's see. Yeah, you're putting down burdens that don't belong to you. You know, it's like, that's beautiful. That's beautiful energy because it's like, you know, we all have burdens, all of us, you know, and it's like, but some burdens that we carry, we don't have to carry because it's not ours to carry. You know what I mean? It's like, because we know that the only person that we can change is ourselves. Why would I carry the burdens of people around me or energetically in my space or projecting? Why would I carry the burden of why they feel the way that they feel or say the things that they say or do the things that they do? I can't change anyone but me, you know? So how am I going to move forward? How do I put it down? How do I put down the burden is the biggest question. And the thing is that that's where you got to figure out. It's a you versus you. How do you lay them down? Whatever it is, closure, you know, acceptance, putting the burdens down because you have to, because it's time, you know, it's time to come out of your shell. It's time to be the person that you know you want to be and to not worry about burdens that you can't carry. They're not yours, you know? And sometimes maybe within that energy of the child that I was meant to be, maybe there's things that that people don't even know about you that you've been wanting for yourself since you were a child, that has nothing to do with money or abundance or any of that as far as that goes, but has to do with what lights you up inside, you know? Some people really, really love to write, and I'm one of those people, for instance. Or somebody really, really loves to play sports, or somebody really, really loves to work out, or somebody really, really loves to, pick a hobby, you know, whatever it is. But some people are passionate about whatever they're passionate about, and because we know that, are we going to say that their hobby is less significant than my hobby or what I'm doing? No, let people do what they do. let people enjoy what lights them up. And that's the thing. It doesn't, something don't have to make you a dime, but I mean, Christ, if it makes you happy, what's wrong with that? You know, if something, it's what it is, you know? And so, I don't know, but you're like, you're feeling like there isn't a whole lot of communication in your direction or passion in your direction about what it is that you are passionate about, if that makes sense. That was so like crazy and cattywampus, but like, you know, whatever it is that you're passionate about, you feel like the people around you are not passionate about it. And it's like, you know, everybody has what they enjoy, and they have their own reasons, and they have their own things that they wanted as a child. Maybe it's always just to feel like that child inside, you know, the person that didn't worry, the person that didn't carry burdens like tons of bills and what people thought about you and da 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 da. You know, it's like there's people that just don't, they just want to be like, have fun with life, you know, do what they enjoy, live freely. And that might seem like a pipe dream to a lot of people. But the thing is if you're passionate about you can't be good at anything you're not passionate about. When you are, holy moly, you can do anything. You can achieve anything. You can build anything. You can switch it into something else. You can combine it with something else. You can, it's limitless, the ideas that you can come up with if you're passionate about something. And so, so that's what you're doing at this time, is putting down the burdens of what, things that aren't yours, you know, to carry, basically. See what else. But you are passionate about it. I mean, you're going after it. Like, I'm going after that. That's my dream. I want to do that. You know what I mean? Whatever it is. Like, and I think about things that that I used to do as a kid, and my family would know this. If there was a play, I wanted to be like front and center. If there was a band concert, I was going to be first chair, you know, like whatever it is, like whatever I would get passionate about, it was like I wanted to do it like full blown, you know what I mean? And it's just like but that's what this is accepting that it's okay to be passionate about anything and everything. And like, even if that's love, even if that's you know, a hobby, even if that's, I don't know. I have no idea what it is for you, you know, but Spirit is encouraging you to go after it with everything you got. If it lights you up, there's no limit to what you can achieve in that endeavor. No limit. Yeah. And you're healing, you know? You're healing those internal struggles that are only yours alone, you know? That has nothing to do with anybody around you. It's always a you versus you thing. And it's like you're recognizing that there are things within you that you just like, there's maybe an inner child in you even that needs like a big old weighted blanket, you know, and like a little curl up and like session and whatever, you know, like whatever it is, like there's things within you that you're recognizing that you like me. It's like me versus me, or you know, like, or you versus you, whatever, that still need healed. Even when you think you're completely healed, it's like, oh, oops, missed one, you know, like gotta get busy, you know, like, oh, I'm not feeling good. You know what I mean? And it's like, and so, but recognition is the first step, that awareness, that knowing that it's still, it needs some lovin's, you know, like some cuddle bug time, like seriously, like it needs to be healed within you. And it's like, and that's the only person we should ever care about, you know, as far as like changing. We need to only change ourselves, you know, because we can't control the people around us, you know, we can't make them want to heal. We can't make them begin healing. We can't know what it requires for them to heal based on their own stuff, you know, that they dealt with, based on their own traumas, based on their own suffering, based on their own feelings, you know what I mean? And so all we can do is love each other, you know, and show that love as much and as good and as best as we can every single day, you know? And so when I catch myself in a space where I'm feeling that, oh gosh, like this ain't healed, I take a step back, not because the people around me are bothering me, or that it's people around me creating it. It's like, no, there's something still wrong with me that I need to fix, you know? I do, alone, you know, I have to fix it. Because I don't ever want to resent anybody. I don't ever want to not forgive someone. I don't ever want to not, or I don't ever want to be like angry. You know what I mean? I want to fix it. I want to fix myself so that hopefully I'm trying my best to give my best self to everybody that I love, you know, living from that heart space, sharing that heart space with others. And it's like, so yeah. So that's what you're dealing with. But the good news is this leads to wish fulfillment for you of healing. That's a healing energy, the star energy. You could be dealing with an Aquarius, a Capricorn, a Sagittarius, a Libra, possibly. So yeah, that's the energy for right now. And I just want to commend you that, like, whatever it is that you're struggling with, we all have struggles every single day. Try to be part of the solution and not somebody who is creating a problem where there doesn't even have to be one, you know? Take a step back, take a moment to say, hey, what is it that you're feeling, you know? Instead of assuming, instead of judging, instead of doing whatever you gotta do to make sure that everybody around you knows that they all think you're crazy, you know, whatever it is, I don't know. So yeah, but yeah. Let people do what they do. Let people live how they live. Let people journal in a dream journal if they want a dream journal. And here's the deal. Stay out of people's business. Don't be reading people's dream journals and pretending like you know what's going on in their subconscious mind. They don't even know. You know, they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to piece it together. But I can tell you this for sure. You're never going to be able to figure out somebody's dream journal by reading it. Because it's only things that have happened to them. Only things that they have dreamt in their mind, because it's somewhere in their subconscious from this life or a past life. So please be careful trying to mess with other people's stuff and then creating drama because of it. So yeah, I keep that dream journal with me everywhere I go, you know, because it's a piece of me. And I'm sorry if anybody heard stuff from a dream journal that absolutely was a dream. So I write them down so that it helps me to receive messages appropriately for this. But it's never meant to be used in a way to hurt anyone, to slander anyone's name, to think a certain way about someone, to, ask somebody what is it before you go reading it and then sharing it with people and saying stuff about it. Anyway, that's my little spiel. But while we're on here, just want to tell you, I'm going to start giving those messages out more when I get them. And I'm not going to write them down anymore. Obviously, I'm going to keep them in my brain. I got a photographic memory, so I think I'll be okay in that endeavor. But so that nothing ever gets confused again and, you know, I don't get attacked because of it. I'll just say this. From now on, you'll be getting the messages a lot sooner when I get them, so that you can utilize them better in your life to make better decisions. Because there's a lot of messages in there I should have gave about, 6 months ago, to be honest. So, I mean, there's some from 2 years ago. So I'm just here to tell you, they're going to come out faster in these videos, and I hope that you'll stay tuned for that, because I'm going to be revamping my page a little bit and working on some projects. So I hope that you have a wonderful day. Yeah, Saturday. I'm going to bed now, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great night. Bye for now.